What do you think of when you hear the word trauma? Does it seem like a complicated topic with various definitions, something to be avoided at all costs? There's a lot of discussion about it in the world today, and there can be some fear or anticipation about knowing how to navigate this with wisdom and compassion. So, my name is Erin McQuaid Wright. I own Vitalist Coaching, and I'm a Mastery Method certified coach, a trauma-informed certification created by a licensed clinical somatic therapist whose name is Alyssa Nobriga. And I'm really grateful to Alyssa for her 20 years of experience, which have deeply informed my practice as a trauma-informed coach. And my Mastery Method certification is the basis for what I'll share here today. And for context, I'm not a therapist. And this is not meant to be taken as legal advice. It's simply a source of support for you in your service to others. So, in order to talk about trauma, I want to first ground you in an understanding of what I mean when I say somatic. It's a word with Greek origins, and it comes from the word soma, which means the living body in its wholeness. So, the body holds on to experiences from the past, and it can speak for us in various ways. Sometimes our work, when we work with people, we're encouraging them to step into the unknown, to do something new, to try something that they haven't before. And that can be um, sometimes a situation that brings up trauma because the body, the ego projects fear into the unknown. And of course, if we feel something, feelings aren't facts, but sometimes they can be really strong and scary and demand our attention. And fear can be held in the body and can kind of get in the way of the beautiful experience that you're offering them and can take it off track. So you know what we're talking about here. Somatic practices have to do with the body to release this stuck energy. And some of these practices include breath work, movement, body awareness, and mindfulness techniques. And so working in the body can activate trauma that's been there from the past. And we all experience trauma. It's not something that is wrong with us or wrong, we're wrong for experiencing it. It's a part of the human experience and it's nothing to be ashamed of. And so, unless you're a specially trained coach or therapist in working with trauma, just know that your job is to spot how, someone might need some extra help, extra support, and help them feel safe in returning to the here and now. That's all. So, learning how to recognize a trauma response when you see it is going to deeply serve those who are experiencing it, and it's going to help them move forward in a way that's really nourishing for them. Trauma happens when someone isn't able to digest what happened at a certain time in their life. The emotions were maybe too overwhelming for their body to process. And Dr. Gabor Mate says that trauma is not what happened to you, it's what happened inside of you as a result of what happened to you. Perhaps it was too much, too fast, or too little for too long. And you can think of trauma as an internal scar or emotional constipation, right? That emotion gets stuck in the body. So there are two levels of trauma. Little t trauma is something that everyone experiences. So that's examples that are like non-life threatening injuries, emotional abuse, the death of a pet, bullying, the loss of a significant relationship. Whereas big T trauma, that shows up as not being able to hold the present moment with love and compassion. So the person may disconnect from the here and now. And examples of that include racial trauma, war, violent crimes, school shootings, or serious car accident. But remember, it's not the thing that is the trauma. It's what happened inside as a result of the thing. So let's explore a deeper understanding of what trauma responses can look like. And I encourage you after this video to do a little Googling on the window of tolerance. And I want you to do an image search. You'll see different images that come up. There's lots of examples. But what we're talking about is if you picture a window, the middle part that we're usually in when we're talking with other people and interacting with them is we're in the present moment together. We're having a conversation, we're sharing ideas, we're with each other and connected in the present moment. But outside of that window, above or below it, there are different responses that can be a trauma response. So hyper arousal is what happens when someone goes out of the window of tolerance on the hyper side, and that can look like anger, a red face, popping veins, sweating. Hypoarousal is when they go out of the window of tolerance in the other direction, downward. So it can look like they're not there anymore. They're freezing, they're fawning. And this is the images that you search are going to help you put this all together. But when you see it, you'll know what to look for. And so the fawning response is what you might know less about. And that's an adaptive strategy that they've used to keep themselves safe in the past. And so examples of the fawn response could be people pleasing, not wanting to be too much or to be difficult, appearing fearful to ask for what they want, maybe trouble saying no, over apologizing or over responsibility for the emotional reactions of others. Those can all be examples of the fawn response. And so the most important thing for you to do if someone goes outside of the window of tolerance is to pause what you're doing with them and support them in coming back to the present moment. And you can do this most readily by engaging their senses. So you can invite them to drink a glass of water or ask them to look around the room and describe a color that's pleasing to them, an image that they see and like, or a scent, and help them breathe in a way that the exhale is a bit longer than the inhale. The signals to the body that it's safe. And of course, if they have big T trauma that hasn't been processed, that's going to be something that they would be best served working with a therapist to look into. So you can encourage them to seek out a trained therapist or trauma therapist, and it may be delicate. So you could say something like, I noticed there were some deeper levels that came up for you, and I want to make sure that you're fully supported around that. Would you be open to working with a therapist? I have some great referrals. And so um, that there's a directory of specialists in somatic experiencing that can be found at Somatic Experiencing International, which is directory.traumahealing.org. So I encourage you to use this directory and have a specialist or two in your pocket just in case you need to share a referral one day. You'll already have it ready to go. For more resources about healing trauma, go to traumahealing.org/resources. There are a lot for you to review there. So based on everything I've shared, I hope you can see that trauma is just another part of the human experience, hopefully one that you can navigate with a calm and steady response that's nourishing to everyone around you. Because it's also a part of being human to learn from others who are modeling behavior that we want to exhibit in our own lives. So I'm really celebrating you for the ripple effect that you're causing by learning how to spot this and learning how to respond in a wise and supportive way. So I want you to just check in with your body briefly. and see as you're watching this video, what do you notice as you take in this information? Is your gut clenched? Do you feel constriction in your chest or throat? Do you feel expansive and relaxed? Are you leaning in? These are things to notice about your own nervous system because how we feel on the inside shows up in how others feel around us. And so it's great to be able to spot when someone's having a trauma response. And the first part of that, I would suggest, is learning how to spot your own internal climate, what's happening inside of you. So having an eye on both the internal and the external can be really helpful. So remember, unless you're a trained trauma specialist, your role is not to rescue or fix anyone. You can lay that idea down. Whew, you don't have to do that. You just have to create a space where others can feel safe and seen and really deeply supported in their growth. And I hope that this video helps you do that.